I just recorded this whole presentation and then and then it deleted. So we're gonna start from the top. Maybe I'll make it briefer. You guys want to? So playoff scenarios, Dynasty League, Season 5. These are just going to be all of the possible playoff scenarios, even though that's not true. Obviously, all the possible scenarios. We're going to make some assumptions. This is basically like everyone probably they need for themselves, but just to bring up the rest of the league to see how that's out together. Here are your current standings. Goldie in the 1, Taub in the last. Yeah, I mean, the way I did the points for, instead, I made it a different. So what you're going to be seeing is the 6th seed has a certain amount of points. That's Mars Madelon. And either has more or less than him based on what you see in that sheet. So I have 106 Mars Madelon. That's why it's minus. But Max has 100 more. That's why it's plus. So take Madelon score, take the PF next to your name, add it or subtract it based on the mathematical function there, and then bang, boom. There's a clean line between the 4 and the 5, like at 7 wins. So what that means is you pretty much split scenarios in half, right? Because no team can get to 8 that don't already, like from the 5 and up. So that means the top 4 are on their own island right now. They're dealing with their little mini playoffs. Not really the bot under that is a little mini, and as we'll see later. I want to throw some quotes in, stuff that we believe in as a league. The first one is "Water covers two, I cover the rest" by Deion Sanders. It's a good quote. Honestly, I think it's just a good quote. There's gonna be more of these. Stay tuned. So, a few notes. This is gonna be the busiest slide of the deck. Everything else is going to be nice, pretty graphics. Clinch is the 1, and the best record in league history. That's an interesting note. So, with wins 11-2. So, regardless of what happens next week, Goldstein is basically on a double bye. But he also beat Lawrence Kurtz's previously held 10-3 as the best record in league history. Wild, because I don't know. I don't think anyone took Goldie to win preseason. I know it wasn't me. I think probably because he had 2 Cardinals. Yeah, damn. That's kind of wild. Kurtz has an 89 point max with plus 1 game. So Max is going to have to pull some gymnastics if he wants to get into that, but it's possible. It's possible. He's just going to need to set one of the best this league has ever seen. And then me and Max matchup determines the 3 seed. More really determines the 4 seed because no matter what the losers in the 4 seed, because of that situation, Max ends up at the 2. So if he could win and end up in the 2, so 3 seed, Kurt can still get there. But we'll see. Most likely determines the 4 seed. And then second column, the battle for the 5. Here's your first prediction, and your only prediction is that Morris defeats Morris and clinches 5. And then the other Morris is now in danger of missing the playoffs due to a break. If you guys didn't realize yet, Morris Escher is playing Morris Madelon. That's the matchup we're talking about, so a little fun right there. Basically, winner 5, the loser now has to look at tie-break situations, assuming Vic or Ted win. We're not going to talk about Ovi really, because the guy put up 70 points last week. But yeah, so out of all those teams, Mars first, as you saw in the points differential, he has the most points for. So if he wins, that means Madelon now has to cover Vic in order to make the playoffs, assuming Vic wins. So Vic needs to outscore at least Mars Escher. Or Mars Madelon. If he outscores Mars Escher, that means the winner of that Mars would have less. The loser would have less points than Vic. I don't know. I'm not sure. I skipped that. Analysis. The presentation is going to be split up between the top 4 and the rest. So Like we're gonna look at the top 4 situations, and then we're gonna look at the bottom situations, and you could just mix and match those two halves into all of the playoff outcomes. We're not looking at how many scenarios there are, we're looking at how many outcomes there are. Since there are 3 outcomes in the top 4 and 6 for the 5-6, there are 18 total outcomes. Um, there are going to be much more scenarios, but since I split up in half, you're going to pretty much around 20. Okay, clinches. Quez clinched last, obviously not me. So the other Quez clinched by, really a double by. But yeah, we'll see if that's the move. He doesn't really have a choice. He has to be the 1 seed. Might force most likely with Max because I'm about to smoke him. The winner of Mars versus Mars. I think it's a better move to be in the 1. You don't want to be seen playing like a Victor snuck into 6 seed or like a revenge run after losing to Mars Madelon type of stuff. Ted clinched because I think what he's going to do is he's probably going to have to take that draft fine, actually lose a game or set a losing lineup because he can't seem to figure it out. The guy just keeps winning. His team is better than his record. Went on an absolute run after trading away Travis and just won a game with 1 quarterback and Diggs on bye. So I think what's happening is trying to figure out which Packers running back is going to get less points, which he's like wrong time, which is kind of wild. Yeah, they'll like Aaron Jones. He's like, yeah, he's starting. He plays 1 quarter. Now AJ Dillon, Ted put it in just in case, like he wanted only 30 yards. Now Dillon and he's running through people. Yeah, that Packers offense is rolling right now. Christian Watson also. Pretty sure you have Christian Watson. I don't know. But let's see. We just saw them pick up a practice squad quarterback, Flacco. Maybe they can actually set a losing lineup. And then, yeah, Minshew clinched Cody. A huge loss for the Minshew race was Chauncey Gardner-Johnson changing his name. Forgot what he changed it to. And he didn't have any kids, so this is like a lock. We're calling it early on the Cody race. Next, okay, top 4 scenarios. We're only going to look at the Kurtz and Vic matchup, the me and Max matchup. We're going to try to run through these because it's much more simple than the 5-6 situation. First situation is if I win, assuming I don't score 200 points more than Kurtz or whatever that number is, I am in the playoffs. And I am specifically in the 3 seed because me and Max have the same amount of wins. That backs down to the 4, Kurtz in the 2, whatever. Doesn't matter whether or not Kurtz wins, it'll be important for Vic if Kurtz wins, but right now, that's the situation. Next situation is Max wins. And now let's say Max wins, but Kurtz also wins. That means Kurtz is still your 2, Max 3. Same outcome, different situation. Max wins, Kurtz loses, but does not get those 90 points that he needs. Mike 1, Kurtz 2. Right, Max 3. And this is the last one for the top 4. We're going to say Max wins, Kurtz loses, but Kurtz, historically bad game. Maybe he puts up 30 points. Max puts up 130. Max, congratulations, you're in bye. And you'll probably meet Kurtz in the next round because his team is stacked. Yeah. Next. Now we're going to look at the Mars matchup and Ted. There's going to be a lot more of these for now. Okay. First situation, you can see on the leaderboard, we're blurring out like the top 4. Basically, those letters indicate the first letters of the first names of the people there, depending on the situation. So you guys can mix and match right now. We're going to go first look at the situations where either Ted or Vic win. Both lose. And then each of Madelon or Mars winning in each situation with the point. We're going to start with Mars Asher wins. And we're going to do this for a while. And now we're seeing Ted, and he outscores Mars Madelon by 28 points. You see Mesh and Ted in there. And now the same situation side. Ted wins, Mesh wins, but Ted doesn't have enough points to cover Madelon, who just came off the highest scoring team of the week last week, or this week. But he had a lot of points. And yeah, definitely helped his playoff push. That's for so now we have Morris, Asher, Morris, Madelon, 1, 5, 6, and next situation is now we're switching the script. Ted wins. Morris Asher still wins, but Madelon covers on Vic. This time he's the underdog, minus 25. He needs to win by 25 in order to jump in those standings. So we see Morris and Madelon. Next situation, side Mesh wins, Vic covers, Vic takes that 6. Now we're going to look at the situations where Madelon wins and either Ted or Vic wins. Okay, so Matt wins, Ted wins and covers Mesh. That's a big spread, 72. Gonna need a Met game. Yeah, Ted could sneak in with Madelon. On the flip side, let's say Teddy doesn't cover, Mesh takes the 6 over. Next one, Ted loses. Now Madelon wins, but Mesh covers the plus 19 on Vic. Right now, Morris Asher has more points than Victor, so he just has to keep it close. He should get in there, but that's the smallest spread on our list, I think. And then yeah, so Vic covers that. Say big game from Eckler. I don't know. Now we have Madelon and Vic. So we saw all 4 teams occupy 2 spots, kind of agnostically, except Ted and Vic can get 6. I also don't know if I just made up that word, but we continue on. A lot of different situations. Another quote, another one in here. They don't think it'd be like it is, but it do. Oscar Gamble. He sounds like some old Yankee or something. But so it's a great quote. It's a fantastic quote. Okay. So now we're going to start looking at the more interesting situations where both Ted and it's going to come down to like a 3-way tie for the 6th seed. In that case, we're in spreads. So the spreads right now, the only favorite we have that's not in the current top 6 is Vic over Madelon. So Vic right now has way more points than Madelon, about 25, or one Joe Mixon. So other than that, the Morris is dominated. Yeah, now these are exact numbers. This is spread. So yeah, we could get into tie territory. I don't know what happens. Let's just assume it. Okay, so now we're looking at the situation where both Ted and Vic win. Obviously, these are all going to be the situation where both Ted and Vic win, because if both Ted and Vic lose, then it's going to be Mars and Mars, based on the winner of that matchup, right? Let's say Madelon covers Vic, which means that he outscores Vic by 25, and Ted, that Ted doesn't, like he outscores Ted by 0. Whatever, same amount of points as Ted. Ted doesn't get enough points to pass over him. We're going to see Morris and Madelon, right? The common situation happens a few times, but all different ways. Okay, now Ted wins and Vic wins. And Morris actually still wins, but now Victor covers one, but Madelon covers Ted. So that means, like, let's say they all score the same amount of points there. It's like a triple point spread. Like you'll know, like I don't need to explain it as much as I am, because you're like, okay, like whatever happens, whoever has the most points, these 3 guys will make the 6. It's basically what I'm saying, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Ted wins, Vic wins, and then Ted has more points than Matt, and then Matt has more points than Vic. Ted gets a 6, and now this is basically the same situation except with the Mars Asher spreads, which was a little bit less generous. Mars Asher has more points than everyone on that, but since he has less wins than Mars Madelon, he's in danger of losing his spot, and we'll see how. So let's say Mars Asher loses, but he has more points than Vic and Ted. All said and done, he'll take that 6. Now, onto that 6, he's gonna have to outscore Mars Asher, and Mars Asher is gonna have to outscore Teddy. transitive property. It's kind of the same shit. And then the last one, Ted fearlessly pulls off the 72-point upset over Morris Escher and taking down Vic in the way, assuming that Vic doesn't, that in him. Ted will sneak into the 6th, obviously by mistake, because he's about to start. And I don't know, some of these random guys that have these problems roster. Okay, now we get into the Ovi situation. So the Ovi situation is basically like, we're gonna put it in here. It's like almost bonus footage. He is actively trying to set losing lineups, but he could help if he puts up 300 points. No, I put this in here. He's not gonna try to win. Teddy's not even gonna try to win. But yeah, why not? Let's get risky. Okay. Only way Ovi could really make it is if Ted loses, Vic loses, and then whatever wins. So now Ovi has to score 154 more points than Mesh, Vic, and Ted. In low scoring win, because right now Ovi actually has the same amount of wins as Vic, and he's playing a winnable matchup. So it would be hilarious if Quez like out tanked Ovi. I don't know. He should still be fine because Ovi's not gonna put up those points, but yeah. Let's see, that's how Ovi gets in. He has to score like 150 more points than these guys, all 3 of them. Really like only Mesh, because then Vic and Ted will kind of be not better than that. Okay, whatever. Same shit on the other side. Mesh wins, so that's a typo. That should say Mesh. Yeah, can I draw in it? Wow. Okay. Yeah. Same situation. Mesh wins. Mesh gets the 5, and then Ovi just bullies everyone else. I don't know if that draw is gonna happen in real time. We'll see. Ooh, nice. Got another quote. So that's it for all the situations. Standard is the standard. Not sure what that means, but I thought it's funny. It's like a PMT thing. But yeah, big board. I'm gonna move my bubble aside. Yeah, basically these are all the possible outcomes in order, where you get the 1, and then the 4, 5, and then the 2, and then the 3, 6. Everyone's got their own little sticker color. It's very nice. Put thought into that, I figured what color most represent people. Obviously Mike was green. Yeah, I think that's about it. Max is orange because the Mets red. That's why. And yeah, Ted is paying Miami. Yeah, we all know how much he likes Miami. Peace.
Relax my eyes. Relax my eyes, I see flashing lights and I'm not alone. Are you alright on the other side? I can feel you close. I feel alive, here the drums get high.